Morning, all. Welcome to the July 8th Municipal Planning Commission meeting. I'll call the meeting to order. First item is the approval of the agenda for today's meeting. Dan moves approval of today's meeting. All those in favor? Carried. So we'll consider the minutes from the June 10th Planning Commission meeting. Do you have a question? No. Okay, all right. Bill moves approval of the meeting minutes for June 10th. All those in favor? Carried. First for consideration today, development application Ward 8, accessory building, development application 25/80. Is there a representative here for that? Henry Clausen? Yeah. Step up to the lectern. That's new. Okay, you can just take one of the seats beside there, I guess. We have a. Do you need to wear a referee's uniform when you're standing there? Or?
I did not bring it, but okay. For next time I can.
Okay, so go ahead, Becky. Again, development application 25/80.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the proposal here is to relocate the existing garage and construct a 60 by 35 shop for personal use with a size relaxation of 500 square feet and a size relaxation of 32 square feet for the total floor area of all accessory buildings. This is in Ward 8, and as you said, development permit 25/80. The owner applicant is Henry Clausen. This is located at Plan 0613189, Block 1, Lot 4, which is 12402 Range Road 65. The property is 2.34 acres and is currently zoned Country Residential District 1. The applicant is requesting approval from the Municipal Planning Commission to construct a 2,100 square foot shop for personal use. This results in a size relaxation of 500 square feet. There is an existing detached garage, 732 square feet in size on the property. The total floor area of the proposed shop and the existing garage would be 2,832 square feet. The property is located along Highway 3, approximately 1.6 kilometers west of the City of Medicine Hat boundary. As the application indicates, the proposed use of the shop is to allow the applicant to service and store a truck and 53-foot trailer inside. The applicant has also shown on the site plan that the existing garage will be relocated on the property to ensure all setback requirements are being met for both structures. In accordance with 16.6.1 of the Land Use Bylaw, the Development Authority shall review each development permit application and determine its compliance with this bylaw. When a development permit application includes variance requests or discretionary uses, the Development Authority shall assess the application as outlined based on the following criteria in accordance with Section 646 of the Municipal Government Act. Unduly interfere with the amenities of the neighborhood or materially interfere with or affect the use, enjoyment, or value of the neighboring parcels of land. The proposed development conforms with the use prescribed for that land or building in the Land Use Bylaw. In the Land Use Bylaw 2022-09, under the Country Residential District 1, it states that an accessory building shall not exceed 1,600 square feet in area. And the total building area of all accessory buildings shall not exceed 2,800 square feet. We did send this application out for circulation to Cypress County Public Works, and they replied that the road in front of the property is an oiled road with no ban. In addition, a road approach application is required for the additional approach. Alberta Transportation and Economic Corridors replied that in reviewing the application, the proposed development falls within the permit area of a provincial highway as outlined in the Highways Development and Protection Act regulation. The proposed development, however, will not cause any concern for ongoing highway operations or future highway expansion. Transportation and Economic Corridors therefore issues an exemption from the permit requirements for the development listed pursuant to Section 25 of the Highways Development and Protection Regulation. I do have some pictures of the site for you. So this is On the private driveway of the property, we're looking north at the existing garage that's on the property. So that's proposed to be relocated to the north, and the proposed building site is roughly where that garage is located. This is looking west at the existing residence. We're looking south towards Highway 523. Residence is on the right. So the proposed building site again is roughly in the area of that garage. The proposed relocation of the garage is to the north. We're looking northwest. And just another look north. Range Road 65 is to the right. And then just looking back out towards Range Road 65 to the southeast and Highway 523. And so just to explain the relocation, the current land use bylaw has setbacks that are based on the building sizes. So as the building gets larger, the setback increases. So in this case, the garage being relocated further north, it can have a closer setback because it's a smaller building, and the larger shop needs that larger setback. So that's why the reasoning for the relocation, shuffle things around. So that takes me to my recommendation, and that is to approve development permit application 2580, subject to the following conditions and with the understanding that it will be constructed as outlined in the submitted application. Any changes must be submitted for approval by the Development Officer or Municipal Planning Commission. Mr. Chairman, conditions 1 through 8 are standard conditions, so jumping to number 9 is subject to the relocation of the existing garage as per the attached site plan prior to the commencement of construction of the new shop. Number 10 is size relaxation of 500 square feet for the proposed shop, and 11 is size relaxation of 32 square feet for total floor area of all accessory buildings. I have an alternative option, and that is for MPC to refuse development permit application 2580 as the proposal does not comply with the maximum accessory building size of 1,600 square feet and the maximum total building area of 2,800 square feet for all accessory buildings as stated in the country residential district in the land use bylaw 2022-09. And that is my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Becky. Mr. Clausen, would you like to speak to your application at this time? Okay. All right, I'll open the floor to discussion. Dan, go ahead.
This is probably going to be for Becky. Is there a permit for commercial use or a business license on this property? Is it so obvious with the pictures this is for hauling bales?
There is not currently a permit for a business on the property. The applicant has indicated that the shop was for personal use, and that's indicated on the permit or on the proposal for personal use. So I guess if he chooses to run a business, a permit would be required for that.
Are you running a business out of there now?
Sorry, through the chair. If the applicant can please use his mic.
Right. Could you please just, there's a button you can press there, it lights up, and there you go. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I do park my trucks in the yard. I mean, my business basically is on the road hauling bales, but yeah, my trucks are parked in the yard, yes. But I mean, if I need a permit to park the trucks there, I'm willing to work with the county.
Typically, if people are running businesses, it's a pretty simple process to get a permit to do that. Just a business license, I guess it would be sort of. Dustin?
Can we just add that as a condition? I don't see why we couldn't.
Does it have to be a condition, or is it just go without saying?
Well, through the chair, a condition could be added that any business activities need to be applied for, just to ensure that we are making the applicant aware he needs a permit, and that way he can move forward with construction. But that's up to the board if,
I'll move it with that condition added.
All right, do you understand what the motion is with the added condition? So there's just, one of the conditions for the permit will be a business license,
Okay.
a business permit, not a license, to run it there. Okay. All right, so Dustin moves approval.
Hold on one sec.
Pardon me?
Hold on one sec, I got a question.
Okay, before I do that, Dan, go ahead.
So so does he have to come in and apply for a business license now? So that, or for a
Yeah,
permit?
a development permit to operate a business on the property would be required.
So that'll have to come back. So any conditions at that time would be put on it, like yearly renewal and stuff like that would be put on that permit at that time?
Through the chair, yeah, the conditions would be placed separately on the business. I would have to double check if it would be something that would come back to MPC or if it's something we can approve in office, but either way, we would have business conditions attached to the permit.
Yearly review is what I was trying to say. Okay.
Go ahead, Dustin.
Yeah, because technically when you're operating a business that doesn't work off of the facility besides storage, that wouldn't come back to MPC, that would be class 1 discretionary by planning that would approve that.
Okay, correct on that? That's correct?
Yeah, off the top of my head, I would say it would just be storage. I mean, without seeing the full application and what the intensity is, but it would likely be a home occupation minor. There's no customers likely coming to the property. Like I said, just off the top of my head, that's what I'm thinking as well.
Okay, all right. Everybody clear? Okay, we'll pose a question. So Dustin moves approval of development application 25/80 with amended conditions. All those in favor? Carried. So your development permit has been approved, subject to meeting the conditions which were previously discussed. The county will mail you a copy of your development permit. Since this is a discretionary use, there's a 3-week appeal period that the public may appeal the issuance of the permit. The permit will be advertised in the Cypress Courier newspaper for a duration of 3 consecutive weeks. If no appeal is filed within that 21-day period, the permit will become valid at that time. If you have any further questions, you can contact the development officer to discuss them after today's meeting.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Clausen.
that's it for me.
That's it.
Go back to work.
Are we going to wait for Kayleen on this one? Oh, okay. All right. So we'll move on because she's not the one going to be presenting. So the next subdivision application 25CY10, Mr. Penner and Brian, do you want to take the either or both? Okay, so we have subdivision application 25CY10. Go ahead, Becky.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this proposal is to subdivide 0.79 hectares from the remnant agricultural title and for the subdivision and consolidation of 0.65 hectares from the adjacent light industrial parcel to create a property boundary adjustment. So this is located in Ward 7, and it's a light industrial subdivision number 25CY10. The owners of the property are Alan and Sharon Penner, and Monroe Surveys is the applicant. This is located at Plan 1710815, Block 1, Lot 1, and Southeast 5125 west of the 4th. Municipal address is 5410 Township Road 120. This application is intended to subdivide .79 hectares from the remnant agricultural title and for the subdivision and consolidation of .65 hectares from the adjacent light industrial parcel to create a property boundary adjustment. The two proposed subdivisions would then be consolidated to create two adjacent light industrial parcels. The remainder of the agricultural title contains irrigated cropland and is 26.5 hectares or 65.53 acres. The existing light industrial parcel is 2.1 hectares or 5.19 acres in size. There are no oil or gas wells in proximity to the proposed subdivision. The property is located along Township Road 120, approximately 3.1 kilometers south of the City of Medicine Hat boundary. There is an established residence and yard site located immediately to the west within Plan 1710815, Block 1, Lot 1, which is 5410 Township Road 120. The proposed parcel contains a shop, a shed, a dugout, and pump house. Both properties gain direct and immediate access to Township Road 120 from existing access approaches. There is a deferred reserve caveat, which is registered on title resulting from subdivision 76M17. The deferred reserve was previously paid in conjunction with subdivision 16 CY09 and therefore is not eligible to be collected. The deferred reserve caveat will be discharged from title. The Cypress County Council recently approved a land use rezoning of the proposed parcel to light industrial district to allow the subdivision to be in compliance with the tri-area intermunicipal development plan policies. A residence could still be developed on the remainder of the agricultural land. The property is located within the potential service commercial industrial area of the tri-area intermunicipal development plan and within the Township Road 120 area structure plan. The South Saskatchewan Regional Plan states that municipalities are to identify their agricultural land and to limit fragmentation and conversion to non-agricultural uses. Under the strategic section of the plan, Human Development, it states that municipalities are responsible for the planning and development processes that ensure land is available for developments, such as residential, commercial, and industrial lands, municipal roads, and water and wastewater treatment facilities to accommodate population growth. Section 663 of the Municipal Government Act states that a subdivision authority may require the owner of a parcel of land that is subject of a proposed subdivision to provide reserve. Money in place of municipal reserve is recommended on the proposed subdivision. And then just to note that we have determined that the deferred reserve has been paid, therefore the caveat can be discharged from the Alberta land title. Part 311, Road Access of the Subdivision Regulations of the Municipal Government Act states that every proposed subdivision must provide direct access to a road or lawful means of access satisfactory to the subdivision authority to each lot that is created. Section 2.8, Potential Serviced Commercial Industrial Area of the Tri-Area Intermunicipal Development Plan, states that the intent of the SCI area is to provide a long-term location for highway commercial and light industrial uses, where in the county's opinion, potential exists for servicing with piped potable water and sewer. Industrial and commercial development may result in some unavoidable nuisance factors. Applications for industrial and commercial development within 200 meters of an existing dwelling is a development consideration of the county. Section 4.1.24, Subdivision Tri-Area IDP of the Municipal Development Plan states that the county shall follow all applicable policies within the Tri-Area IDP related to subdivision for the lands within the IDP boundary. Section 4.2, Employment Areas, directs council as follows. The county will direct industrial, commercial, and institutional development that requires municipal services to those areas as identified as major employment areas within the generalized development concept. The county should encourage a range of commercial and industrial lot sizes and county-accepted servicing standards to be located within those areas identified as major employment areas as a method to attract diverse industries and businesses. The county shall require that developments provide on-site servicing for their development and that it meets all applicable regulations in the land use bylaw and applicable Cypress County design guidelines and construction standards. The county will encourage light industrial, commercial, and institutional uses to locate in-county hamlets, communities, and other accessible locations to provide for the everyday needs of area residents and businesses and opportunities for local employment where compatible with surrounding land uses. The Township Road 120 Area Structure Plan envisions the types of commercial light industrial uses to be businesses that require larger tracts of land with limited services, such as offices, shops, and large storage areas. The plan establishes a minimum distance of separation between an established residence and commercial industrial development to be 200 meters and is to be measured from the closest point of the residence to the property line of the proposed development. The plan further provides council with discretion to approve a lesser distance of separation. Although a residence exists directly to the west, it would be considered an existing non-conforming use as it is situated on a parcel zoned light industrial. Under the Light Industrial District in the Land Use Bylaw 2022-09, the general purpose and intent of the district is to accommodate a range of industrial and commercial uses which may have outdoor storage or work activities and located in business and industrial areas. A caretaker security residence is considered a permitted use in the district. And utility easements may be required between the proposed parcel and the remainder of the hamlet industrial title. So of course we did circulate this application, and Cypress County Finances replied that there are no local improvements associated with the property. No comments were received from Cypress County Public Works at the time of writing this report. Apex replied that they have no objections to the proposed subdivision. Fortis replied that they have reviewed the plan and determined no easement is required. TELUS replied they have no concerns. St. Mary's River Irrigation District replied that if the subdivision is approved, the district requires that the following conditions are met. SMERD has some existing capacity issues in this area. The applicant may continue to utilize yard water for the existing yard site through their household purposes agreement with the district as long as the use is residential. However, if the use of the lot changes to industrial purposes, a different agreement will be required, and depending on the requirements may not be approved. SMERD will not allow a second property to use SMERD water in any capacity. In order for SMERD to execute the consent to register subdivision, any outstanding balances owed by the applicant will need to be paid in full. Equus replied that they have no concerns as there are no power lines in the vicinity that are provided by Equus. City of Medicine Hat Environment, Land and Gas Production Department replied with the following comments. A map has been provided displaying the gas facilities within proximity to the proposed subdivision. Surface improvements are not permitted within the City of Medicine Hat pipeline utility right-of-way and within 100 meters of any City of Medicine Hat wellhead, unless the landowner applies to and receives approval from the Alberta Energy Regulator and the city for a setback reduction. Any ground disturbances or surface improvements within 30 meters of any City of Medicine Hat gas pipeline or within 100 meters of any gas wells will require a crossing or proximity agreement. Town of Red Cliff replied that they have reviewed the proposed application and offers no comments. City of Medicine Hat replied they have no concerns. Alberta Transportation and Economic Corridors replied that the requirements of both Section 18 and 19 are not met. The department anticipates minimal impact on the highway from this proposal, and there is no direct access to the highway as there is sufficient local road access to the subdivision and adjacent lands. Therefore, Transportation and Economic Corridors grants approval for the subdivision authority to vary the requirements of Section 18 and 19 of the regulation. To that end, the applicant is apprised that Highways 1 and 3 form an integral part of the national highway system, of which the ultimate service classification is freeway. Given this, Alberta Transportation's long-range freeway access management plans include a realignment of Highway 1 and 3 in the vicinity of the City of Medicine Hat. And the Cypress County Assessor provided a market value assessment rate of $35,143.12 per hectare for the proposed subdivision area. So if I move on to my recommendation, Mr. Chairman, that is to approve subdivision 25 CY10 subject to the following conditions. Number one, the developer is required to make a payment to the county for money in place of municipal reserve for 0.79 hectares at a rate of $3,514.31 per hectare, being 10% of the appraised market value of $35,143.12 per hectare. The payment is to be submitted to the county prior to the subdivision's registration with Alberta Land Titles. Number 2, it is the developer's responsibility to enter into any necessary agreements with St. Mary's River Irrigation District. The developer will be required to provide written evidence that the requirements of SMRD have been satisfied prior to the subdivision's registration with Alberta Land Titles. And number 3, our standard condition. The developer is required to supply copies of any utility right-of-way plans, easements, and/or agreements which are to be registered as a requirement for any affected utilities to Cypress County prior to the subdivision's registration with Alberta Land Titles. And that is my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Becky. The applicant, Mr. Moreau or Mr. Penner, would like to speak to the application at this time?
Well, I think Becky's got everything covered. One thing about access, there's an existing access point in the southeast corner of this proposed subdivision. It's got an asphalt apron and everything there right now.
Okay. Okay, I'll open the floor to questions, motions. Okay, so Dan moves approval of subdivision application 25 CY10 with conditions as presented. All those in favor? Carried. Your subdivision has been approved, subject to meeting the conditions which were previously discussed. The county will now mail you a copy of your subdivision approval. You're advised to begin working towards completing the necessary conditions and making arrangements to have the approved areas, subdivided areas surveyed if you have not already done so. You have 1 year from the subdivision's approval date to have met all the approval conditions and have the surveyed plan submitted to Alberta Land Titles by your surveyor for registration of the separate title. If you have any further questions, you can contact the planner after today's meeting to discuss them. Thank you, gentlemen. Next item for consideration, the planner's report.
Thank you through the chair. The planner's report for July 2025 is supplied for information purposes, and happy to answer any questions you may have. It's quite a short report this round.
Move it. Dustin moves approval of the planner's report as presented. All those in favor? Carried. Didn't have to talk. Well, this is short and sweet. Next meeting, Tuesday, August 12th. Again, Tuesday, August 12th. I adjourn the meeting.